This is an interesting email I just received. I haven't checked it out on Snopes, but I know a lot of the things on here are factual. And it has to do with no one seems to give a damn about anything about President Obama, as to his background, as to what he's doing. And I find it very interesting, the double standard that takes place on whether the person's a Republican or a Democrat. And trust me, I have no love for George Bush. I think he sold the country down. I think in general, both parties are essentially the same. But in any event, this is pretty interesting, so hopefully you can get the gist of this whole thing. And if you have any things that are contrary to this, send them to me. The whole gist of this email is that nothing seems to matter on what Mr. Obama does, his travel, his rise to fame and power and money. There doesn't seem to be any real paper trail as to how this gentleman got to be where he is. And what I'm amazed at is that we are, in fact, sending Patriot missiles and things to Taiwan, which is really inflamed China. I would not expect that from someone of Mr. Obama's ilk, and yet it seems to be the case. Mr. Obama's disdain for the flag was seen in various pictures, and hiding behind a flag as a patriot is not something wonderful, but it's an indication that he has some wires. He's hardwired a certain way, it would seem, and that giving a certain respect to and showing a certain love to the American flag might be something he doesn't want other people to see. Who knows? But enough things are going on here where he's essentially taking down the country, the people he's appointed, the money he's spending on creating more federal jobs, more jobs that are going to require more pensions. It seems that everything he's doing, the cap and trade to add another insult to our economy and tax our energy producers, and then which is going to raise the prices of everything, and then send this money overseas, take this money out of the country. They're little. It's you couldn't think of a better plot. Mandatory health insurance. It goes on and on and on and on with no end in sight. I don't know. And yet he sounds great a lot of times. Sounds great, but he didn't learn anything from that election. It's you got to study Joseph Goebbels of Adolf Hitler's era when he said, if you tell people something enough, it does become truth. And I think that it's worthy of seeing his tactics and comparing the tactics of Joseph Goebbels and what's happening here. The Republicans do the same thing, but they're a little less blatant about it. They maybe show a little more sophistication. Something came up which I thought was very interesting, and that is the difference between the stands of Congressman Chris Carney and Senator Specter and Casey. Carney voted against the cap and trade bill, and Casey and Specter are in lockstep. Now, the only reason why I think that Congressman Carney is against, he did the same thing with the bailout. So the only thing really to do here is force him to debate Casey and Specter on the issue. Don't let him just take the vote and hide. If this guy really thinks that cap and trade is so bad, he should be willing to fight to the mat and question and challenge and try to convince Specter and Casey that they're on the wrong track. It would be very interesting indeed to see if Casey's willing to fight for his ideals, or is it just a convenient way to let us bumpkins think he's one of us? I really think the whole concept of judging the voting record of a congressman or a senator is really obsolete, because anytime they vote, it's not a matter of what they voted for, it's what they were successfully voting against their party for, to see where they really are. Every time I see Carney, when he votes against his party still wins the day and has enough votes so they can afford him to do what he has to do to stay in power. And therefore, when they need him for the health care bill, he's there. He's actually elected. The mandatory health care bill, which will basically fine you and arrest you and jail you if you don't go along with buying the type of insurance that they feel is you need. I've done many YouTubes on that this whole thing, the abortion issue, the public option issue, they were just things thrown out to get some debate and draw attention from the fact that it's mandatory. So you might want to read these issues regarding President Obama, how he rose to power. A lot of interesting stuff here, and think about the transformation that's taking place. These treaties, especially cap and trade treaties, once they're signed, and once we agree to this, that's it. We can't get out of it. We just can't get out of it. And these are things you talk about: taxation without representation. Taxation without representation. If we can't change the laws and we're paying taxes, that's taxation without representation. I don't know how they can talk about. I don't know how they can actually talk about any bill that you can't rescind. That's the whole point. In fact, the Democrats on this health bill and things, these other bills, are trying to make bills that they're saying, this is it. You cannot change it. You cannot change it. How the hell can they even talk in those terms? It seems to me very, very strange that they can do that. These people are claiming that China's, Russia or Iran is not our biggest enemy, and the contingent of politicians in Washington is. Well, you can look at the graphs of our government spending and see that the cost of government is going to kill us long before any type of environmental issues are going to do us in. And that should be obvious to anyone who has a feeling for where we're going. Since the creation of the Fed, our dollar has been devalued 95%. Can you understand? They were in charge of keeping the dollar stable. And prior to them, the dollar was stable. Anyhow, enough of this. Let's get on with your day. But I really wish you would take a real look and start writing letters to the editor and questioning these things. Don't write letters to your senator or congressman. They don't give a damn. Write a letter to the editor questioning them. Then you're doing something. Either you're thanking them or condemning them. But if you want to help your senator or hurt your senator or your congressman, write a letter either in support or against. Take care.